Oh
Hey, Wes, I
man,
feel like I
Austin. So
haven't seen it in like a hot second.
it hasn't been hot, or it has been a hot second.
Yes,
You were in Pasadena,
I
but you
was.
took a train and then a bus. I was trying to remember if it was a bus and then a train or a train and then a bus.
Yeah, I
I
did
think
the
that's so
easy part
cool.
first. I don't know. Like, seems like California should get their government body together and like consider like connecting the two metropolitan areas by train the whole way.
Yeah, they're working on a light speed rail here, actually, that goes all the way up to San Francisco from Gilroy.
I really enjoyed my experience with Amtrak. It was clean. The bathrooms were clean. I have no stake in Amtrak. This is not this is I'm just being
We would
enthusiastic.
like to introduce you to our first sponsor,
Yeah,
Amtrak.
Amtrak.
That would be
Yeah.
so epic. Oh my God.
Even the bus, which was like I guess it was like a charter, but it was like Amtrak, it had Amtrak logoing on it. It was clean, it was convenient, but it would have been just so much nicer to just continue down the Grapevine, go over it.
Hmm.
Like, and if there's a connector somewhere on the north side of LA County, like no big deal. But like
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
was, uh, it was nice. I did a lot of paperwork and stuff. I even caught a Zoom meeting. So
That's what I was thinking about. I was like, it's actually really hard to work on a plane. And it's nice when you actually get the chance to just sit down, have a little bit of space. You got a counter in front of you, and you can actually do some work on a train. You know what I
you can
mean?
get
So
some real work done on a train. I did it. I wrote an entire premium services section for
that's your fourth space. It's Amtrak.
yeah, yeah. Every time I just need some quiet time, I'll just take the. But when I got on that bus and I hit that road, I was out.
Oh,
Just immediately like turned into a 4 year old who's like driving in the
yes, yes, of course, yeah.
road.
Bus driver wakes you up.
Yeah,
Go, man.
it's time.
We're in Tijuana. It's time to go. What?
There was
What?
some there was some
Huh?
people taking a long bus ride. Some people were going like to Riverside by bus, and I was like, damn, that's legit from
Yeah.
Bakersfield.
Do what you got to do. Save a dollar here and there, man.
It was $44 one way. That's less
See?
than the price of gas.
There you go.
Yeah. You're gonna have to explain to me how the little circles on WeBus works. WeBus Pacific is a men's group that West Pyatt has founded as a
Mm.
nonprofit, a 501c, and our second sponsor is WeBus. It's Amtrak, and
Yeah,
WeBus, we're
Amtrak and
mostly just
Bus. That's amazing.
we're into commercial engines that move people around, so trains and buses. The WeBus is not quite a way of getting through locomotion, but if you need to connect with other like-minded individuals, they have many chapters. Where are all the chapters again, Wes?
Oh my gosh, we have it broken up into Pacific, Mountain, Central, and East. So, but we've got members in, I think, I'm trying to count in my head really fast. I don't know if this is accurate, but I want to say like 7 or 8 states across the United States. And we have over 60 members. They're all just dads trying to be better dads. It's pretty cool stuff, man. Pretty cool stuff.
I have been on WeBus now for about I'd say about a month, and I have greatly enjoyed my experience so far. I essentially just talk to strangers, and every once in a while they talk back to me like we're friends. And
Wait,
so
so okay, what? All right, so we bus you guys. So if you're interested and you're listening to this, basically what it is during the pandemic, I was having a mental breakdown. You can, well, I'm sure we'll talk about it later.
I'm sure
And
people can relate.
yes, and I reached out on the internet and said, if anybody is suffering and needs somebody to talk to, I'm here. And people reached out, and everybody else was suffering just like me. And we started a dad's group, and the idea behind it was just to share experiences, which grew into like our one rule that we have in the whole thing is that you can't share advice, you can only share experiences that you've been through yourself. So it took off like wildfire. Everybody gets in there, they share their experiences, we all reap the rewards of it. But it got so big, and there were so many freaking videos. It would be like in a day there would be over 100 videos of dudes coming on there and being like, "Man, I'm really struggling with X, Y, and Z," and then a flood of dudes coming in from everywhere, going, "Been there, done that, and here's what I did." And the coolest part about it was that it was a bunch of people that were doing the same thing all in a different way, and they're all getting the same result. And in that space that we've created has been this non-judgmental, extremely vulnerable, open, non like just everybody there is there because they just want to share the crap that they went through so that it's not for nothing. And so that somebody else could be like, oh, maybe I'll use that. But anyway, so it got so big that we broke it up into groups basically across the country. And we are currently working on our curriculum. So we have a curriculum that's going over mind, body, and spirit. And when within each one of those areas, we're going to be talking about the experiences that the dads in our group have shared, that they've been through, their triumphs. We're going to talk about their when they fall on their face and how that went as well. And probably honestly,
Not
I was going to say
failing,
more.
not failing, but
Yes,
but
not
rather
failing, right?
learning.
Like even learning more lessons from that, right? And we're injecting that into this curriculum. So this is not a curriculum that we're writing and being like, here's the Weebus way and how we do it as dads, right? It's like, here is the information and experiences that we have gathered from 60 plus dudes that just so happen to be across the United States at this moment. And we're going to every year update that with new experiences and new opportunities and resources. And we're already bringing in subject matter experts. Like we have my buddy Robbie, who's down in San Luis Obispo. He owns 3 gyms called Headstrong, and he's like, he trains NFL athletes, MMA athletes, and like paraplegics, missing limbs, like everything. And he's like a master at helping people stay balanced. And he's our body guy, you know what I mean? And then we have a 27-year Air Force combat helicopter rescue pilot. That's a mouthful. Named Switch, who's our CEO, leading the ship, making sure that us idiots and monkeys are staying in line because we're like, oh, this would be fun. You know what we should do? Hey, let's add this. You know, it'd be cool if we did a kids program. And he's there to go like, yeah, guys, that's all cool. Come here, really say.
I love that the trap. I love that the trap for all CrossFit types are like, "Hey, I think we should start a kids program," and it's just like the one like, "No, no, is your service to the adults good yet?" And you're like, "It's a par, but like we do, but then don't start the kids program yet. Get what's right first, right."
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Yeah, but it's been amazing, man. And it's obviously grown into the gym just naturally. Like it started a thing called We Talk that takes place every last Friday of the month upstairs at our gym. No pressure to come, but there'll be people there hanging out, and it's like an opportunity being like, "Hey, I got this going on in my life. Anybody else?" And they go, "Yeah, me too."
Do you find in those circles just due to the time that you've chosen that it's a lot more of your 6 or 6:30 PMers that just sort of linger, or do you get more people from across the timeline spectrum?
Oh yeah, because they're coming there for that specific reason. And if anything, what you get is the 5:30 and 6:30 people lingering, but they linger downstairs and they work out and they listen. And they kind of get, you know what I mean? Like you can
Yeah.
see them down there. We're upstairs, we're hanging out, and you can see them. The music's a little bit lower so that we could talk or whatever, you know. And we've got a couple of them to come up every once in a while, but it's a barrier to vulnerability for sure.
One of the things that came out of Midstate CrossFit during COVID was uh, what we call Beer Tuesday. Now, I'm not saying this is good health advice. I'm just saying this is something we do communally. And when everything closed in Merced, including all the bars, all the restaurants, uh, unbeknownst to me at first, Midstate turned into a speakeasy. And so then I started,
Unbeknownst to me,
yeah,
while I was
yeah,
flying helicopters the
yes.
same
Well, I
time,
was
people were knocking on the back door at my gym.
Yes, people were just lingering and having beers, and then one of the which is fine. They were having community. It was
Yeah.
something that we needed at the time, and after I found out about it, I just went all in on it. You know, so we've made T-shirts. Beer Tuesday is a thing. We've sort of had a community. I have a growing family. They're just getting older, so they just like need more out of me. It's actually easier
Yes.
to live a more like a laissez-faire life when they're 1 and 3 years old versus when they're 5 and 6 and 4 years old. They just have now they have responsibilities. So now like they'll be, hey, we want to do a beer Tuesday on Wednesday. Hey, I want to do a
Yeah,
beer
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Tuesday
yeah, yeah,
on
yeah,
Thursday,
totally.
and it really works out really well. It gives them a chance to like, hey, it's da da da's birthday, and we just want to like stay longer. And they're like, all
Yeah,
right, well, now that I know that, I will organize my life. Or it's like, hey, can we not do that? We'll do this.
yeah.
Back during COVID, back during there was nothing to do, so mid-state just turned into everybody's safe space, even like their ticket hangout. Back when I was just a dirty punk rocker from New Bedford, Massachusetts, we used to have these things called spaces, and so
Yeah,
not
yeah,
that
yeah,
yeah, and that's where
yeah,
you'd have your jam band. No
yeah,
bathrooms. Like you'd have
yeah,
the factory door would close and you'd lock it,
yep.
and then I don't think our parents knew what we were doing. If my child came home and was like, "Hey, I want to get a band space," I'd be like, "No,
Yeah.
I know you, son."
That's funny, man. We had a band space too. It was
Yeah,
actually how I got in the original band. Like I was in like the big punk band in our hometown for about a blink of an eye while their drummer changed basically. And they were in this space above our space. And then there was another space between it and this dirty, it was so gross in that place, man. But I know
yeah.
exactly what
You should
you're talking-
not have teenagers have spaces, but that's okay. Things I'll do, and then who knows? Maybe I'll let my kid have a space. I will just be present in the space. That'd be different. I think the lack of parental supervision was the problem, not the fact that they had one.
Yeah, I was 17, 18 when I first did that. So it was
We were
different. I was like,
children. I think we were like sophomores and juniors in high school. Like it was
mhm.
debauchery.
Yeah, we were just doing it in my buddy's Clint. Oh my god, I was in Clint's garage. That's right, his mom's house. And he had this really badass Bronco that we could take the top off of, and we thought we were all so cool. I remember that. Oh my gosh, we're the worst band ever. It was so
Uh,
awful.
there's some good music has come out of New Bedford, but it's never stuck long enough. But shout out to a Wilhelm Scream, and we all know their real name is Smack and Isaiah.
Wait, really?
Yeah, yeah. So we are all inspired by Wilhelm Scream.
Dude, Wilhelm Scream is like top five favorite band for me. The
Uh,
band that I was in, it's called A New Tomorrow, if you guys would like to look
yeah,
it up.
or No Effects is kind of out of your area too. So
Yeah, but a Wilhelm Scream. So the band that I was in, A New Tomorrow, I was in their band for a blink of an eye, and then they got a better drummer, and they got signed to the same label as a Wilhelm Scream, and the label asked them, "What do you guys want as a signing bonus? Like basically as you come on." And they said to go on tour with Wilhelm Scream. So they went on tour with the Wilhelm Scream. So the band that I was in, I wasn't in it, but they went on tour with them. Went on tour with the Wilhelm
that's
Scream.
fantastic. Wilhelm Scream, shout out to you guys. I think Nino and all of them are still doing tours. Last time I checked, they're in
Yes,
Europe. Last time I checked, they're in
dude.
Europe.
Yeah, I went to actually, I saw them in San Francisco with my buddy Daniel, my wife, and his girlfriend at the time, and
Oh,
everything. Oh, it's great. I remember this weird dude kept
what
buying
a
them
weird
all.
connection.
Yeah, he
Sorry,
kept
we're supposed to be talking about CrossFit. We fell down this plane.
who cares, man? Somebody out there right now is going, yes, dude, Wilhelm Scream,
And
like,
that's legit.
too. I
My
was gonna say,
favorite. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say really quick because you were talking about the free beer Tuesday you guys do. We actually at our gym have the same thing. It's called Free Beer Friday. And so, but the drinking team, we have an official drinking team at our gym. It's called Coast Range Drinking Team. Look it up on Instagram. And they supply the fridge. And then we just got, check this out. This will be our third sponsor. My buddy, Brad, he owns a company called Crushwell. And they make a zero sugar vodka seltzer drink, but it has electrolytes in it. And so he's a CrossFitter. He's been doing CrossFit forever. And he, just like Fit Aid broke into the soda space and gave the soda community a better option, that's what he's trying to do with Crushwell. He's trying to break into the CrossFit space to give these what we're doing and what you're doing, free beer Tuesday, free beer Friday. He's stocking our fridge at Coast Range, bro. We have a Crushwell
I will,
lounge.
Eric Hazel, if you're watching this, just know that we need to get into Coots. Ramon, you know what to do. Uh,
Ooh, see, let's go. Let's
yeah,
go. I
so,
like
yeah, we got
that.
leaders. We got leaders. We call them bear leaders.
Yeah, I really like if you're in the community around here, guys, like support Crushwell. You'll see it in Safeways around Salinas, Gilroy. We got it in a couple restaurants around here while he was down here looking at our upstairs area, and we decided we're gonna do a Crushwell lounge and stuff. It was pretty cool. So
That's
support him.
this it sort of segues into like so much of the what I'm hearing from this actually is like as I bring it full circle and try to almost bring this educational is like even in our youth, we were looking for safe third spaces of like-minded individuals. And so it doesn't matter if you're like a punk rocker from the high school or you're a college kid looking for either fraternity or military employment or joining more aggressive forms of community, or if you join a CrossFit gym or a church. These are all common themes that do not begin or end. You're either on a little league baseball team where you meet your best friend, or you're a 40 something year old who's fallen out of fitness or like gotten themselves undertrained, and all of a sudden you walk into a space like CrossFit Coast Range and Gilroy and you're like, oh, I think I just found my people. It is common. It's why old people like to do pickleball now. Like
Oh my God, yes.
it's just calm. It just repeats itself over and over again. A marker of health is 3 to 6 people that if you were on the 101 and you had a flat tire, you know that without a doubt, if you called them and been like, bro, my donut is not going to do it. Can you come and save my butt? He'd be like,
I,
absolutely. Like,
I
I'm on
don't
my
have
way.
real world strength, man. I can only lift the barbell. Can you come help me take
Yeah.
this thing off?
I do not know how lug nuts work.
I don't
Um,
know. Yes.
I don't even know if that's the right word. And then and
Isn't that so
but
funny?
that's
Because you're like one of the most experts on saving a life, right? Like if anybody needs somebody, it's Brian. Like,
yeah.
but when it comes to changing a tire, you're like, what? Huh?
Well, I
You know?
my unbeknownst to the universe, my wife is right behind me, or like on that side of the screen, and she was just like,
Hi.
she's like, don't ask Brian to change your tire. And like, I am useful. I am useful in certain ways. Yes. It's been good. It's been good. Yeah, I was down in Pasadena on the medical team for the CrossFit semifinals. It was my rookie year, and I just sort of put myself out there. Uh, Isaac Bull is, as he goes by, was an absolutely fantastic leader, an incredible leader. I learned so much from him. I really appreciated the level of professionalism that the team immediately. There was some veterans, there was some like 10-year veterans, and there was a bunch of rookies. And it was like, hey guys, I know that we are assembling and we're assembling right here, right now. You come with a level of expertise. This is going to be our ICS system. This is how this will play itself out. And even if it doesn't play out perfectly, I bet you will get pretty close because these are the drills we're going to do. These are our expectations. This is where you'll post up. Be invisible but be present. Like it was very. I I worked my butt off. I was standing. Standing is hard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's like these athletes selling their soul for points. Like they would die for points. And
Yeah.
I'm like standing up holding a backpack and I'm like, squeeze your glutes, stand up tall, shoulders
Grab
back,
the ground.
you can do this, you can do this, everything's fine. And then, there's athletes just like actually literally bleeding on the floor. And
Yeah, yeah. It'll
so,
be different on year 3 for you, I'm sure.
yeah, absolutely. It was a cool experience though.
And that's so cool. So did you know that I know Bull pretty well?
I didn't. I didn't. I met Bull. I met Bull. He's a CrossFit Hanford guy. That's so close to us. I freaking
Yep.
Rafi from the Goon Squad was there. It was like such a cool experience. Just uh, be with. It was because I love medicine and I love CrossFit, and I know just like nerd on both so hard. And
Dang,
so
yeah. So you were just exhausted after that weekend.
yeah. Oh. And then I came home and did Murph immediately, and then
Yes, of course.
and
Why
then
not?
at the end of Murph, I had told myself I have to work from Wednesday till the end of Murph, and
Mm.
at the end of Murph, which was about 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning on Monday, I mentally turned off, and I just was like,
So did you guys do Murph on Monday at your gym?
yeah. We drove home late at night. We made it home, a little bit before midnight. Woke up, opened the gym, hit Murph.
Hey, that's classic affiliate ownership right there, maybe.
Yep.
Living good and working hard.
Then why not? Why not? Got nothing
It's
else.
like funny. It's the best thing ever when you can blur those spaces of the things that you love to do and that our work, like you're working hard over there being on the medical staff, but loving every freaking moment of it. You
It
know what
was
I mean? Like,
it,
yeah,
I learned this about myself right away. It's not that I don't love CrossFit as a sport. I nerd out on educators. So like I was seeing like
me too.
Oz, and I was seeing like Don Fowle do his little like
Yeah, yeah.
conference, and like I was just
I'm the
like,
same way. I see like
yeah,
Chris Tinchell walk by. I'm like, oh, I
yeah,
want to go talk to Chris, you know, or like,
yeah,
yeah,
like yeah,
even,
it
you know,
was so cool to be
yeah,
so close to so many of like the like marquee faces of our industry of this like this thing we call CrossFit, and like to a certain degree that is the male and female individual divisions for the CrossFit Games. But for me, I listen to Very Not Random with Pat Sherwood and Boz every week, all constantly. They're just in my head. And like I was just like, oh, I'm like, we had conversations back and forth, like just cool because I'm on the medical team. So it's like the best place to be. I'm sitting sidelines with like uh um
everyone.
everyone,
Yeah,
everyone.
anyone.
Todd,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the head judge I was thinking of just now was Todd. And
Oh, nice.
his name's escaping me, but
Todd Widman.
yeah, the head coach that's also the UFC fighter, whose name is just totally escaping me right now.
Oh, Jeff.
Yes, yes, yeah, and like it was just cordial, just these cordial, nice conversations. But
No,
inside,
wait, no, sorry, not Jeff. Jason McDonald.
yes, yes,
With
cauliflower.
the hand tats,
Yes, with the
everything
hand
tall.
tattoos. Yes,
Yeah,
be nice
Jason
to him.
McDonald. Yeah.
Constantly be nice to him because he will murder you. And
Yes.
but he was nothing. Everybody that I just mentioned, nothing but saints. Jason Khalifa, and there's like these people who are, yeah, they are. I mean, some of them are amazing athletes, like really. But it's that information that we're sort of putting out here at a minor leagues level. They're doing it in the majors, in my opinion. And I just
Mm-hmm.
I just really look up to them. And I was like, cool, wow, look, there's Pat Fellner, that guy's cool. And but really, I was like, oh my God, there's Boz.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I'm the same way. Every time I work with them, I still do that. Honestly,
I was
like
like, I feel like this guy knows my name. This is so weird. Uh,
yeah, like yeah, seriously. Yeah, I get a text from him every once in a while. It blows my mind that he has my phone number. Yeah, you
yeah,
know, and it's like yeah, and it's the same thing. It's I am such a fan of CrossFit as well. And I'm such a fan of educators and teachers as well. Like I love following anybody that is there to just make people better in some way, whatever that is. And then when they have passion behind that, oh my God, it's just electric. There's nothing else you can do about it. That's why CrossFit gyms work so well or don't work so well. We could talk about that, right? It's like you can feel when somebody's glass is overflowing with this stuff and when somebody's glass is full and they start a business and it goes down a little bit no matter what. And when it goes down a little bit, man, it's really hard to like keep filling that thing back up. But when it was overflowing already, it's actually kind of nice because then it's not like now all of a sudden it's not spilling over into the friends that were always talking to you know you were always like oh god here comes the CrossFit guy, he's always talking about CrossFit. Now you kind of don't want to talk about it all the time outside of there, and so they actually kind of like it a little bit more. You know,
you could say this about anything in life. Let's say that you have like a carpenter who just loves carpentry. If that person's cup is overflowing, I will just listen
yeah.
because like whatever it is that they're talking about is bringing them so much joy. I'll be like, I'm about to learn something.
So then
Like,
how do we give okay so then how do you give that to your coaches? How do you turn your coaches into that, right, into a passionate, really into somebody that delivers their passion, like
I
they have to have
I
the
think you have to do it
passion.
the
Yeah.
opposite way. I think all you have to take the person that's overflowing and just turn them into a coach.
Okay, then the question is how do you find the people that are overflowing?
I want to say, well, the first thing that came to mind was objective observation of an athlete in your class.
Mm, we
Like,
go the opposite. We don't usually like we won't, but we don't want members to be coaches.
oh, I want to take my, well, this is what I did to like anybody that had the super good guy deal from the very beginning. I just turned them into coaches because I couldn't deal with their membership fees anymore. I was like, you're paying me $20.
Ah,
Please just be a coach. Like you're not going anywhere, right? Like no, this is money of this. Just pay me $0 now and just like coach.
let me get somebody else in your space.
Yeah, yeah, please. You're doing awesome. So that is generally what we've done for a lot of our old gangsters and
And that's kind of cool too, because now it's giving them a little bit of like feeling of ownership in the business too.
The way that we've done it recently is I have 4 interns on staff right now. It's a bit overwhelming, to be honest with you,
Hmm.
just because I feel an obligation to really do my best by them. And really, what I'm doing is L2 training for interns who apply formally. They have to do like a 100 word why I want to mid-state, why I mid-state is essentially what it says. It's like this is what is you have to write it down. You're going to be an intern, so that means you're going to be a coach one day, theoretically. You can fail. It is not free. You still pay me your membership while you're an intern. And you say to yourself, maybe not out loud, but you write it, why I mid-state? Why do you want to be a coach? And then
Hmm.
once they do that, we go through this like formal hour long, let's break down the internship form. It's not very long. It's essentially a breakdown of the 6 principles of a highly effective coach. And I say over the next XYZ amount of time, some of them take a really long time. Some of
Hmm.
them go pretty short. And they graduate by getting their L1. But what in their internship process, what I am trying to do is create expectations and fill their cup with CrossFit to just go into the L1, go into the L2, because you know how it is. You're a seminar staff member. How many times have you gone into a seminar and you just know that these people didn't even know that there was a book?
Hmm. Yeah, of course.
They
Yeah.
didn't even know there was a book,
Hmm.
let alone
Sometimes that's good.
like 40,000 journal articles to go along with it, or
Yeah,
whatever the number is.
absolutely. Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
so what we do is we just really deep dive CrossFit and we explain to them the applied sciences that is this art, this science, this passion project that is CrossFit, and we just try to make their cups full. Like,
Yeah, but how do you
so
keep
that's our
going? I'm
how.
excited to hear, yeah, your how.
That's my how.
Okay, but what are the details? If you have a coach who doesn't seem to be displaying the passion that you're looking for, right? What do you do now?
I think well, we do our monthly meetings to re-engage and let people know what's going on at the business, and then
Okay.
dive into not the coach but the person, right? Like, are they not passionate on the floor because they've actually lost time to train? And so we make it very clear that we want our coaches to participate in class because from past experience, more than once, what I have seen is if a coach stops attending class, they lose the magic because
Oh,
they lose their training partners. They lose their why do they do this? They miss the joy of group training. And so that's the big first red flag. Like, ooh, it appears like you're training less in the classroom. If if that's the case, like how can I help mold your schedule so that I could have you like work out at the 3:30, coach the 4:30? Maybe we do that twice a week. Because I have per diem coaches and I have part-time coaches. My per diems are essentially the free membership model, and they're like sort of my bullpen coaches, where I'm using them in a baseball analogy. I'm using them like relief pitchers.
and they're coming in, but they're paying off their membership.
No, their membership is free. They also get a free
Okay,
membership.
but what do you mean by? Sorry, what were the terms that you used?
So it's 8 classes a month or 2 classes a week, however that breaks down. And then I
Gotcha.
have per diem coaches. It's not really.
That's what I'm asking. Yeah, what is the
Yeah.
per diem?
From like medicine and working shift work, per diem's different than part time. Part time has more uh like stakes in the game. Oh no, I don't want to end this conversation. But a per diem sort of has manipulation of their schedule, and they do 4 classes a week, so that's 16 a
Okay,
month.
but you still set a minimum amount of classes they have to do
Yeah,
per
yeah,
week.
and those individuals, along with the other perks of like no paying for a membership, they also are paid. Um, and so those are our 2 tiers, and uh, it seems to work for the people that want to fall in those 2 buckets. they seem to both be at my current list of pitchers, my coaching staff. They appear to be happy with their. I actually gave a couple of races out this week, so that was kind of
Nice.
cool. It's kind of
That
cool.
is cool.
A couple of
That's
bonus.
really quick. How much time we got left?
We got 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes to talk about how to keep coaches engaged.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's say that you do. So here's our scenario at our gym. We've got coaches that are kind of coming from all over the place. Like we have a coach that comes from San Jose. We
Yeah,
got a
that's a so for context, that's an hour drive, no traffic.
No, maybe 30 minutes, no
Okay.
traffic.
Okay.
Hour with traffic for us. But we used to have some coaches that were coming from Santa Cruz, which is about an hour. They don't need more. But that's been kind of the thing, is that we've always had coaches that are coming from a distance because I recruit coaches. And so I think now of myself kind of like a Nick Saban of the CrossFit community. And my goal is to get the best coaches that I possibly can so that my members can reap the rewards of those coaches. And so I reach out to coaches all the time that are around, encouraging them to always stay at their boxes as well, because the more that they coach at different gyms, the better off they're going to be, the more members they're going to get eyes on, the more experience they're going to have from different.
One of my goals is to coach at other affiliates for sure.
Oh man, yeah, I love it.
So
It grows our community too, because then we can do stuff together. Like so, I have another coach that comes from Hollister, which is 30 minutes east. So all of my coaches are coming from out of Gilroy to Gilroy by a minimum of 30 minutes to get to me. So coming to classes during the week, which I was always telling them, like, hey, you got to be at classes. Like we used to say 5 days a week, you're doing classes, and then we're like, okay, 2 days a week, you got to do classes. And now it's like, I understand that is tough for you to do, but I also like feel like, no, you got to make it a priority to get your butts in here and do it, because that has definitely been something that we've struggled with.
I know in my being that you would be so good at developing someone. Like there's two ways to think about this as an employer. You could take on someone's bad habits, or you could instill in them your own bad habits.
Mm-hmm.
So there's I have done both. I have hired from within, I have hired from without, and both of them come with their own challenges. But when you develop someone from nothing, you turn clay into some sort of
you can instill those values.
Yeah, and you're gonna make mistakes. We all do, and and you'll learn from those. And it's taken me through. I've had multiple interns completely flame out. I've had coaches just ghost. I've had all of the and this is you have 10 years of affiliate experience. I've only been the affiliate owner for about 4, and so that's only 48 months. That's not even that many, And
little baby.
Yeah, just like little baby affiliate owner. These are mistakes I've been made. I've made someone a closer, and I have pitcher analogies apparently. And
I do too. I use baseball all the time.
And so my closer, back when I was half-assing both being a flight paramedic and an affiliate owner, I needed him. I need you to close. This is your job. You have one job.
Yeah.
Close. And because I did that, I gave that guy a hard job. That is a hard job. Close the gym every night, nearly every night for 2 years.
That's not a hard job.
Hard job.
That's not a hard job.
It's for me. I want to go home and have dinner with my kids. I want to go through the bath, food, brush the teeth cycle. When I miss those things and I get home at 8 o'clock at night, I find it hard. No, he had no kids.
I think that people's lives can make that job less desirable at that moment. But our job is not hard.
I agree that going in and having good vibes, but he was also completely unsupervised at the time. So bad habits just started ruining.
Turn the music up. Yeah, totally. I hear you.
Working out with the class instead of coaching the class. That's a big.
Man, yes, and all those things. But like even all of those mistakes and stuff are a great part of the journey if they stick with it, And like, I think one of my passions in life is to turn that narrative that, like, I remember we used to say this a lot to our coaches back in the day, and I heard it from Ben Bergeron, and I took it to heart too, was that you can only really do two classes. And then if you give it everything you got, like, you're smoked, you're done.
I totally
And I
agree
really,
with the two class model. The two class model.
and I used to agree with that as well.
Until you started coaching
But
yourself.
now, yeah, but no, honestly, so I coach 15 classes a week now, every week. On top of that, I do personal training 3 times a week. I program for 10 people individually. I do coaches development. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, it comes down to how full is this thing? How full is this? If
I
it is
think that I
overflowing,
think that you and I, to a certain degree, this is gonna. Sorry if this sounds funny, but I CrossFit nerd unicorns. You know, like it's not everybody's cup filling thing to be extroverted in these 6 principles of applied coaching, and it's just so rare to
yeah,
find it. Now there's a few in each town. There's several in each town. Can Brian and Wes find those people and
and
let
that's
them
what I was
know?
asking earlier. Where do
Yeah.
you find them? Because I don't think it really is a hard job. I think, and I honestly believe that you can condition yourself to get used to running at that type of energy where you will find where the threshold is. The same way that the first time you do grace, 30 clean and jerks for time, you come out way too hot. That is what happens.
I've
Or
never
you
done that before in
pace
my
it,
life.
or you pace it way too much. But either or, you're never going to hit the sweet spot the first time. You're going to do way too much or way too little. And that's coaching too. So usually at first, I think we usually either give way too little of ourselves and the members feel that. And in turn, the coach goes, oh, the members don't like me. I'm not a good coach. And in turn, you're going from the back end going, no, you just need more passion. Come on, just put more energy behind it. You got it. And they're like, no, they don't like me. And that's like the person in grace where you're going, come on, no, you got this. Pick up the barbell, let's go. And they're like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready. But over time, if you nurture them, you go, okay, hey, instead of going, come on, you got this, you say, hey, on that last one, your feet were here. Put your feet here on this one. Okay, now try this one. We're ready, go. And they just do a rep because you're just cueing them into a rep, right? The same thing with a coach where they do 3 classes and they're like, dude, I'm smoked. And you're going, yeah, okay, you look like you're smoked. Hey, let's do this. On the next week, we're going to do 2 classes. And the next week, we're going to do 3. And the next week, we're going to do 1. And the next week, and then you can condition yourself to find your threshold as a coach and know that, like, okay, what's too much energy? What's not enough? What are the things that I need to do to prepare myself to coach 5 classes in a row versus 3 versus 2 so that I can give sustainable energy with this thing? Because one
I
of the
think
main
so. Yes, yes. And to just wrap a bow on it, because we got a minute, we're gonna do
oh
better
man,
about this,
okay,
people.
God, I could
We're
have
gonna do
gone like
better about
10
this,
minutes
people.
of
But
this. Yeah.
I feel like we're leaving them. We're gonna leave them right with all the crumbles. They're like, they
Okay,
didn't get to the answer.
fine, yes.
Is from the affiliate owner's perspective, you must own your coach's development. You
Yes.
must, if you're gonna find people and you're going to get them to succeed, it has to be as much about your passion for their passion as anything else. Because if you just send
Which
them
means
your
monitor.
L1,
You have to
hey Bob,
monitor
you
the
got your
volume.
L1? Wow. Here's a key.
Yeah.
Here's how you open and close the building.
Yeah.
Off you go. Now they're either going to go one of those 2 directions. Give too little of themselves or give too much of themselves, and both might lead to burnout. And for us, for Midstate and for clearly Coastal Range, we want to invest in our staff. And because our staff is invested in, they want to invest in people because